Assessments are super important in classrooms, especially in math room classrooms, because how do you know where to go if you don't know where you're starting? Kids in the Coachella Valley, where I plan on teaching, are coming from all over the place. People are moving here from New York City, from Chicago, but a lot of people are moving here from Mexico. And sometimes these kids don't even speak English, much less are up to par with their math skills or their reading skills or whatever other skills we're testing. So it's really important to start with diagnostic assessments. Where is this student at? What is their understanding? What is their prior knowledge that they're bringing to the table? Okay, if they can't speak English, then we probably can't teach them calculus just yet. We need to back up, teach the kid how to speak English, and then maybe we can move on, or maybe we can get calculus curriculum in Spanish or what have you. Anyhow, you need to know where all the kids are at in order to know how to group them properly and where to move forward. Formative assessments are ongoing assessments. They help design curriculum and help you to understand the needs of your students. Formative assessments, I think, is the number one job of being a teacher. You're constantly assessing your students. You're constantly saying, okay, look up from whatever I'm presenting and see if anybody looks confused. That's how simple a formative assessment can be. Another formative assessment can be, hey, Billy, did you understand that 8 plus 2 equals 10? Do you understand how that works? If not, let's get some jelly beans here and look at this, or whatever. Formative assessments are not, they don't have to be, my point is formative assessments don't have to be formal. They can be simple as looking somebody in the eye and saying, oh wait, they don't get it. They're ongoing assessments, and they help you to decide who moves forward and who needs a little more help. Summative assessments are done at the end of a unit. How much did they understand from everything that was taught to them? Summative assessments are important as well for classroom teachers to know who needs more time, who needs to go over the information one more time. And all of the assessments test skills and monitor levels. That is the bottom line of an assessment. It's what they do, testing skills and monitor levels. When we think of assessments, we think of the old-fashioned assessments, which in my schooling were testing. Pre-test, lesson, post-test. Pre-test, lesson, post-test. Luckily, school doesn't look like that anymore. Smarter Balance assessments align with the Common Core standards, and I don't know why they chose to change the verbiage, but they did. So formative assessments are what we used to call diagnostic assessments. Interim assessments are what we used to call formative assessments. And summative assessments stayed the same. At least 2 out of 3 changed. At least one of them stayed the same. So it's kind of confusing. Formative, interim, summative, as opposed to diagnostic, formative, summative. Same theory, different name. What types of assessments best inform the classroom instruction and why? I think all 3 of them are equally important. Formative assessments, diagnostic assessments, they're used at the starting line. Where are we starting from here? Interim assessments, who's getting it? Who's getting it? What I'm throwing out here. Diagnostic assessments, they help score the students. How do we grade somebody if we don't know what their diagnostic assessment looks like? How does the state grade someone without diagnostic assessments? They're necessary evils. No kids really like them, but I think we need them to know who needs to look at this information again. Who's ready to bolt forward? Again, how will I utilize assessment data to differentiate instruction and meet the needs of my students. I guess I've been talking about this throughout the whole journal entry, but I believe assessment is the most important tool a teacher can have in order to differentiate instruction. And like I said about assessment, it can be as simple as observation, interviews, looking at their tasks, looking at their tests, looking at their writing, looking at their math lesson and seeing where they made the mistakes. For me, I think differentiated instruction works great in small groups, especially in the Coachella Valley. If the 5 kids who don't speak English didn't understand the concept, maybe you went too fast. Maybe I didn't use enough visuals. Maybe I need to go back. I need to give them a more rich curriculum. I need to do something to make it better. Those kids need to be in a group. I need to figure out how to get the lesson to them through pictures instead of just my words, because I do talk a lot and I do talk fast. I will also allow group discussion so students can hear about learning from one another. Sometimes one kid that completely understands a task will explain it in a way that my brain never could have come up with. So small instruction, going over it, reviewing, all of those things are where assessments are so important to me. And a fun little visual. What does assessment do for you? It helps you to revise, redo, finish, alternate, grade, give feedback, helps you to appraise, helps you to praise, helps you to modify, finesse, peer, critique, adjust, final. Anyway, I thought it was kind of cute. So I hope you have a wonderful day, and here is the ever so interesting bibliography page, and goodbye.